President Tinubu receives Sierra Leonean president on first visit. Hello and thank you for joining us on the news at 7 on NTAi International. I'm Lami Ali. Shegun Ajayi is a sign language interpreter and Ramadan Karim. So let's begin with the headlines. President Tinubu receives president of Sierra Leone on first visit. Mudashiri Obasa returns as substantive speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly. Also on the news, Air Force mission to Guinea-Bissau leaves following threats by President Mbalo to expel it. And now the news in details. After 49 days of holding forth as Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Meranda has resigned her position, paving the way for the return of Mudashiri Obasa as substantive Speaker. Musa Toliat reports that the event was part of the intervention of the APC party stalwarts in the leadership crisis at the Legislative House in Lagos State.
The agents at strategic locations gave an indication of an impending serious business at the Lagos House of Assembly. This was connected with leadership crisis that has rocked the Legislative House since January 13, 2025, when Honorable Mudashiri Obasa was removed and replaced with Mojisola Meranda, the first female to occupy the top legislative position. 49 days after, it took the intervention of APC stalwarts to bring feuding parties to the negotiating table, and this resolution was reached.
It is with every sense of responsibility that I hereby give you notice of my decision to resign as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly with effect from today, 3rd of March 2025. And in this regard, I know that this is a point at which, as your leader, I have to make this selfless sacrifice to resign in order to protect this institution. With your unflinching support, I made history as the first female Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. And I value and cherish the solidarity freely given to me. My esteemed honorable members, I do not leave out the management and staff of this assembly. I am sincerely grateful to each of you for your support and collaboration during my short but very interesting tenure.
Her resignation paved the way for the return of Honorable Mudashiri Obasa as a Speaker of the Lagos 10th House of Assembly.
I will not communicate or reveal any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my official duties to any person except as may be required for the due discharge of my official duties as the Speaker. I will always follow the path of justice, honesty, and concord amongst all the people of Lagos State in particular, and Nigeria in general, in all I do. Help me Allah.
Some principal officers subsequently resigned their appointments, while new nominations were made to replace them. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTAi News.
President Bola Tinubu this Monday receives President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio, in the State House. He was received on arrival by the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. The Sierra Leonean president, who is in the country for a private engagement, arrived in the State House at about noon for a courtesy visit on the ECOWAS chairman. State House correspondent Musba Danwahab reports that the two leaders had a one-on-one discussion, details of which are sketchy. This is the first time the Sierra Leonean president will be on such visit to President Tinubu. However, the visitor is a regular at ECOWAS summit held in Abuja so far, under the leadership of the Nigerian leader. French ambassador to Nigeria, Marc Fonbostier, reaffirms his country's commitment to remain Nigeria's formidable ally in developing the solid minerals sector. He gave the assurance during a visit to the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake. The ambassador stressed that France is fully committed to supporting Nigeria's roadmap for mining development, with a very keen interest in investing in the rapidly developing solid minerals sector.
I think you are committed, as we are, to do something together. So we are not two, we are one in this. Of course, Nigeria has the choice of the rich. You have all partners coming to visit you, seeking for your support for a partnership. France is just one partner amongst others, but I think we have sometimes an edge, or sometimes we have skills which can have a certain merit in your eyes. So humbly, but with the trust I have in my country, I come to offer you to, if you accept, debrief a bit about what we can achieve now. What could be the next steps?
The core agenda of Mr. President's policy initiatives has been diversification of our economy, away from fossil fuel, away from petroleum and all that. What we need to do next is to identify those companies,
Yes.
that are serious.
Dele Alake also highlighted the imperative of continued engagement with the French team to identify serious French companies interested in the mining sector, while also fine-tuning areas of collaboration to concretize partnership based on the earlier signed Memorandum of Understanding. We go to Guinea-Bissau, where the mission by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has left following threats by President Umaru Sissoco Embalo to expel it. Charles Alpha has the details.
A dispute over when Embalo's presidential term, which began in 2020, and when it should end, has heightened tensions that risk unrest in a nation with a history of military coups. Embalo, who chaired ECOWAS from mid-2022 to mid-2023, said on February 23 that presidential and legislative elections would not be held until November 30. ECOWAS said in a statement that it had deployed a mission from February 21 to 28, together with the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, to help reach a consensus on how to conduct an election this year. The mission departed Bissau in the early morning of 1st March following threats by Umaru Sissoco Embalo to expel it. Still in Africa, the United Nations envoy to Libya and its president representative and the EU are discussing ongoing political developments and current challenges in Libya. A statement by the UN support mission in Libya says the meeting addressed ways in which the international community can support the Libyan people in their efforts to strengthen institutions and establish lasting peace and stability. The UN representatives NTAi expressed gratitude to the EU for its continued support of UN efforts in Libya, emphasizing her anticipation for ongoing cooperation to achieve peace, stability, and prosperity in the country. Charles Alpha, NTAi News.
France and Britain are proposing a partial one-month truce between Russia and Ukraine that would cover air, sea, and energy infrastructure, excluding attacks on ground fighting. French President Emmanuel Macron and his foreign minister say the comments came and European diplomacy designed to bolster Western support for Ukraine following last Friday's harsh meeting between President Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. President Donald Trump. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said such a truce on air, sea, and energy infrastructure would determine whether Russian President Vladimir Putin is acting in good faith when he commits to a truce. President Macron, in an interview, said under the Anglo-French proposal, European ground troops will only be deployed to Ukraine in a second phase. Houses in parts of Indonesian capital have been submerged up to their roofs as residents wade through chest-deep floodwater. This is just as an avalanche hit northern India. Charles Alpha reports.
Over 1,000 people were affected in parts of Bogor, south of Jakarta, where residents waded through the flood water. The local disaster mitigation agency reported widespread damage, with many displaced from their homes. Emergency response team worked to provide assistance, but heavy rains persisted, complicating efforts. Elsewhere, massive avalanche struck several parts of northern India. The incident occurred in Gash village, 6 kilometers from the sub-divisional headquarters, Pada, in Kishtwar district in northern India's Jammu and Kashmir. Reports say there was chaos and peril as an avalanche of snow cascaded down from the towering mountains. Local media said traffic has come to a halt because of the incident. Although this occurred near an inhabited area, luckily there was no loss of life or injury to anyone. This is the fourth snow avalanche in the last 3 days in Kishtwar district. In other news, the Central Sumatra Highway near the border area between Damansraya Regency, West Sumatra Province, and Mauro Bongo Jambi has collapsed. This condition did not only disrupt transportation between the two provinces, but also affected transportation to and fro Java Island. The collapsed road is not far from the border between Damansraya Regency and Jojohan district. Head of traffic unit of Bongo Police, Edo Yudha, said that the landslide occurred at kilometer 58 of Jojohan district following heavy rain that poured on the location since Saturday night and is suspected to have led to the disaster. Charles Alpha, NTAi News.
On 20th December 2013, at the 68th session of the United Nations General Assembly, March 3rd was declared United Nations World Wildlife Day. That day in 1973, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora was signed. This year's theme of the celebration is wildlife conservation, finance, investing in people and planets.
World Wildlife Day 2025 explores how people can work together to finance wildlife conservation more effectively and sustainably and build a resilient future for both people and the planet.
Innovative financing is revolutionizing conservation efforts. Wildlife credits, conservation bonds, debt for nature swaps, and other solutions show that it's not just about numbers. It's about funding nature through governments, communities, civil society.
With over 1 million species estimated to be threatened with extinction and facing the intensifying triple planetary crisis, innovative finance for wildlife conservation is more urgent than ever.
This occasion invites us to champion innovative solutions, foster partnerships, and reframe wildlife conservation, not at a cost, but a vital investment in our shared future. Together, we can create a legacy of sustainability and hope for generations to come.
More than half of the world's GDP is dependent on nature, making biodiversity loss a significant threat to financial stability. Current financial flows are said to be insufficient for governments to meet national biodiversity targets, particularly in biodiversity hotspots located in low to middle income countries.
We need a system-wide transformation to fully integrate nature into global, national, and local decision-making. UNDP's Nature Pledge drives this vision by supporting over 140 countries today to put the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework into action.
World Wildlife Day 2025, therefore, serves as a platform for exchange and exploration of innovative financial solutions for wildlife conservation. It showcases financial innovations, the challenges faced by civil society, governments, organizations, and the private sector.
You're watching news at 7 on NTAi International. Time now to take a break. Do stay. Aflatoxin contamination in crops is a global threat that compromises the safety of food, feed, and also influences the agricultural economy and crop-dependent small-scale industries. Due to this threat, the Association of Aflatoxin-Free Agro-Products Producers of Nigeria drew stakeholders to its National Agro-Food Magazine launch to further enlighten Nigerian farmers. Deborah Balagbobo reports.
Lovers of popular Nigerian delicacies should watch out as the Association of Aflatoxin-Free Agro-Product Producers of Nigeria say 70% of Nigerian farmers do not practice best agronomy as they produce agricultural products like maize, groundnut, which are contaminated by aflatoxin.
When you see the crop, you know that there is problem with that because it must be like decomposing.
Right away now, people are dying very young. Before you know, they say liver problem. Before you know, they say kidney has failed. And many people are having headache that medicine cannot even cure them. They do not know that it is as a result of aflatoxin infection.
Stakeholders gathered here are not only being recognized for their contributions to a safe agro-product, but also for their support to the reversed national policy on food safety and quality.
By improving the safety and quality of both domestic and export produce, we are positioning Nigerian agriculture for growth, boosting agricultural GDP, and enhancing foreign exchange earnings.
To take the bull by the horn by ourselves as a farmer, because farmers make a lot of money. No wonder what we are doing. We have over 7 million in our farm in fish, and we are going towards 10 million fish.
Director General of NTAi, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, alongside governors, senators, and some private farm owners, were honored as outstanding food safety monitors. In Abuja, Deborah Balagbobo, NTAi News.
Now, one of the measures taken by the Ministry of Works to arrest the spate of abandoned projects was to implement the no mobilization policy. This puts to test the commitment and capacity of contractors to deliver projects. Minister of Works David Umahi was asked this section of the Kaduna-Kano Highway to assess the stage of work by the contractor without payments of the 30% mobilization. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
The graders, art movers, and the business of the day. The outcome, a brand new highway. No bottlenecks to traffic, left to ply the other lane. This is the in thing as far as road construction is concerned under the renewed hope movement. Wait for the icing on the cake. This contractor commences work weeks after sealing the deal without a penny paid in the name of mobilization. This rule, the minister says, has come to stay.
The Procurement Act says that a client on signing contract may pay mobilization of 30%. May pay, not shall pay or must pay. So no one in the Ministry of Works will be paying mobilization without first being on site for a minimum of 30 days doing active work like this.
A portion of the Section 3 Zaria Kano is also to be completed soon, according to the minister, emphasizing that the Abuja Kano Highway is among the heartbeat projects of Mr. President, with Lagos Calabar Highway on the same page.
Lagos Calabar, we're going to have 20 kilometers fully completed in Section 1 at the beginning, and then at the end we have another 10 kilometers completed, so a total of 30. Leaving only about 17.47 kilometers because of settlement. But before the end of the year, the whole of Section 1 is completed.
The minister reiterates government commitment to deliver quality infrastructure to Nigerians. Abdullah Mohammed, NTAi News.
The Ministry of Women Affairs is collaborating with an international agency to empower more than 1,000 women in different skills. Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, says this is in line with the women inclusion projects of the president in growing the economy. Ngozi Technical reports.
Building the capacity of women in the formal and informal sectors are inevitable in building a vibrant economy. Recognizing the immense contributions of women who dominate the informal sector prompted this partnership, where more than 1,000 women were trained in skills such as tailoring, pastry, among others, were empowered to traverse the business world to impact on their families and the nation. The Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, was represented by her Special Assistant on Financial Inclusion.
When women are allowed to explore their potentials to the maximum, it automatically translates to increase in GDP. The minister will always say is ready to partner with private individuals, corporate bodies that are in the cause of women agenda.
As far as the president, our daddy, Ahmed Bola Tinubu is concerned, we are going to support him to make sure women become great in this country.
I feel that there is hope for this country. I call on other Nigerians that have opportunities to do this.
After getting empowered, there are teams that will be checking after them to see how they go about their business on a daily basis.
I learned how to sew clothes. I have the passion for it. So when I have the opportunity, I now grab it.
I came here and I witnessed everything. It was perfect and I'm happy.
In the same vein, fortune smiled on a patriotic JSS1 student who led the audience in the new national anthem as the CEO of the NGO offered him immediate scholarship through his secondary school education. Ngozi Technical, NTAi News.
We take another break to bring you a message. Now, 17 years after being declared wanted by many international security organizations, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested one of the most wanted international drug barons in Lagos and seized over 1.4 billion naira worth of illicit drugs from him. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that the Anti-Narcotics Agency says this is an affirmation that Nigeria is not a safe haven for drug cartels.
The 59-year-old suspect is not a typical domestic drug baron. He is an international trafficker operating both from Nigeria and abroad. He's said to have recruited vulnerable Nigerians as dispatchers for his illegal enterprise. But his reign was brought to an end after 17 years of being on the run, shipping illicit drugs worth billions of naira across the world, following his arrest by operatives of NDLEA at his hideout in Lagos. A search of his residence led to the recovery of multiple Nigerian international passports belonging to different individuals, many of which contained Korean visas. Also, some illicit substances were recovered in a storehouse at the back of his house. Chairman of NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, who disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja, said this is a big catch in the fight against illicit substance, not just in Nigeria, but the world over.
From a series of interdictions, it has been established that Ogbonia Kevin Jeff is the ringleader of a drug trafficking organization responsible for smuggling narcotics into the People's Republic of Korea. Furthermore, we have established that he laundered the proceeds through the importation of electronics and other goods. I am therefore pleased to announce this significant breakthrough in our efforts to dismantle drug trafficking syndicates operating within the country.
Marwa assured of NDLEA's commitment to ensuring that Nigeria does not serve as a destination for international drug peddling. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTAi News.
Now, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Pastor Enoch Adejare Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, on his 83rd birthday. President Tinubu acknowledges the unique leadership role of the renowned cleric whose teachings for more than 5 decades continue to shape and change lives across generations in the country and beyond. The president extols Pastor Adeboye's humility and wisdom and commends his contributions even beyond the pulpit to healthcare and education in Nigeria. And that's it on the news at this time on NTAi International. We thank you for being a part of it. I'm Lami Ali, and Shegun Ajayi has been the sign language interpreter. Do have a good evening and Ramadan Kareem.